ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys have had a good week and that your weekend has started well as well. Let me try and skip that instant advert. I can see you guys in the live chat room already, so hello to you. Let's give you an instant shout out. In there tonight, we've got PN112, Teresa, Desert Deluge, Bella, Mo, Cindy, Mia, Ocean, Cats, Bob, Billy, Angela, Joe, Karen, Rose, Pink Thistle, Cindy, Debbie, Tammy, Pamela. Hello to all you guys. Kevin's in there as well. Thank you for joining me tonight. We're starting the live stream tonight with Percy Johnson, one of my tracks from my album called Persistence, which you can check all of that over on wingspegasus.com/music. But tonight is all made possible due to my patrons, as I always say. They make not only this possible, but all of the videos that I do on the channel possible, and their names go across the live streams on a Tuesday and a Saturday. So a massive thank you to you guys. You know who you are. And, yeah, the foundation of everything that I do, as I always say. Now, tonight we are going to be aiming for the likes goal that we didn't hit on Tuesday. And that likes goal was 435. And if we do hit that likes goal, then we are going to be having Phil Jam number 282. And we'll see if the Saturday crew can get us up to that total. And let me just make sure that I've got the likeometer set up correctly, which I have now. Here it is. And we're at 208 likes already. I think that's quite a good start. But I will say that as you come through the door, if you could leave a thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. And then we will be able to bust out the guitar. And when I say that, we're going to be busting out the gem, because that's what we were going to do on Tuesday if we hit that target, but then we didn't. So it's going to be the gem tonight if we do hit that target. So yeah, 212 at the moment, 435 the total, and it means we're looking for what, 212? Just a quick bit of maths at the beginning of the live stream. 212 more people to hit the thumbs up. But I always say on the live streams, if we're over 200, that's always a good start. When I draw attention to the likeometer and the likes goal in general. We also have the vote at the top of the live chat room, and that's between Is This Love and Hero. And I think that the Hero one was requested on the last live stream as well. But that's very much in line with the news that David Coverdale has retired from singing. I mean, what a career he's had. And I think more so than Deep Purple, I know him for White Snake. Of course, that's, you can tell, kind of, I guess with my hair, Deep Purple is still absolutely viable. But White Snake is very much where I've heard the most of David Coverdale's voice, and what a voice. It just stands on its own, and you know instantly when it's David singing. So yeah, he's made the decision to retire. And I know that we've looked at different vocalists on the channel who maybe haven't retired and keep on going, and it's all down to the individual singer, and maybe I don't know how their voice is, or what they feel about their vocal ability, whether they want to continue and all these different things, and they might feel under pressure to continue because of fans wanting them to perform and that kind of stuff. But I think when a singer does retire, you can only respect that decision, and that's something that I mentioned about Steven Tyler as well, with his vocal surgery that didn't go quite as planned, and he just announced that he was therefore going to retire. And you know, I think with singing especially, it can be something that as you age, you know, talking about some of the songs that were going around in the 80s, and you can, you know, keep Stephen in the conversation here as well, where you've got constant songs one after the next that are going to be at the top end of the male tenor range, and with David Coverdale as well, belting those songs out, night after night, and some of the screams that he'd do as well. You can absolutely understand why, so far into his career now that, realistically expecting to do that in exactly the same way that you did so many decades ago, it isn't realistic. But having said that, I've seen Whitesnake relatively recently. I'd say maybe when I say relatively recently, I forget how quickly time passes, but probably the last 10 years. And yeah, David was still kind of up there on stage and giving it his all, and yeah, just singing the hits from so many years ago, hitting the same notes and having that same range. So yeah, it is very impressive, and was very impressive. So yeah, I think it's kind of sad news, but also news that I respect from a vocalist point of view, of just saying, look, my vocals, I think, are probably now where I feel comfortable retiring and not kind of keeping going on, and potentially doing other things to keep on touring, which don't sit particularly well, maybe ethically with the singer, or just how they want to do things. So yeah, kind of sad news, but what a career David Coverdale has had. So anyway, we will be moving on with tonight's live stream, but I think maybe Is This Love will be potentially in the lead until we get into the cover video tonight. We will see if Hero can overtake it or not, but yeah, it will very much be like a dedication to David Coverdale. Of course, it was my version of it, Is This Love, the Whitesnake classic. So moving on, we need to get the donations tab up on screen, because I think it's important that you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. So for those people that can't resist donating, I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. But yeah, just watching is fantastic. Maybe leave a comment, hit a thumbs up. That's very much appreciated as well. And just saying about leaving a comment, it's reminded me of something that's happened on my channel recently. And I'm tempted to make a whole video about it, because it is so crazy what some people, and I've highlighted in the past, especially during live streams, some of the weird comments that I get on my channel. But there's this whole other thing that's going on, which I don't understand on any level. And it's even past the point of trolling. It is just people writing silly comments, and you've got this other side of things where people make loads of false statements, and they are such false statements about me and my channel that they're so easily disproven as just being a load of rubbish. But they keep, it's obviously somebody who's got a vendetta against the channel, and they say about me removing comments from my comment section, all this kind of stuff. And all you've got to do is look through my comment section to see that I don't remove any. Like, all the troll comments are still on there. And that particular comment, the person making the comment saying, oh, this person removes all of their comments. And I think either one or two people had replied to this person's comment, obviously because they knew what this person was up to. But the fact that the comment is there and people are replying to it means that what they're saying is incorrect, because I don't delete any comments. And I know that YouTube, I don't know what the parameters are for this, but YouTube sometimes holds comments for review. And I don't know which ones it holds for a review, and that's something that YouTube does. And like I said, I don't have any control over that. So I just leave the comment section as it is, and people can make comments however they want to about my videos. And people that make other comments that might be nothing to do with the videos, YouTube, I think, tries to filter those out if they're just openly offensive, and unfortunately there are people like that, and it's nothing to do with my actual video. But I mean, even still, some of the things that people say on YouTube is very much like a YouTube problem. That it's not. I don't own YouTube, so it means that I can't go around all of my videos and start implementing different algorithms for certain things to be removed. I've obviously got the list of words that. It's a very obvious list of words that shouldn't be in the comment section. But for people making points and people having conversations, then nothing from my side is getting removed. I don't remove any comments. So yeah, like I said, I might do a whole video about this because it's absolutely crazy what is happening. And I know that there are other channels who do monitor their comment section a lot, and I have received messages about this, and I've experienced this myself, where there's a particular channel where I made a video, and again it's just pointing out facts and using objective data to point out these facts because they are proven by the data, therefore they are facts. But anyway, you guys know what I do on my channel, and this other channel, the person that I was talking about, I did receive some emails from people that watched my video, and then they went over to this other channel to comment or just ask a question of that particular channel, and their comments were removed. And I was getting multiple emails like this, so this particular channel was removing comments that people were making about my analysis video that I did. But the analysis video that I did, again, it's just factual, and everything in this particular case was so factual. But all of my videos are 100% factual. But this was so obviously not what the person was saying was going on that people went over to that channel and decided to comment, but their comments were removed. So then I went over to that channel, and the reason that I know that the comments are removed is because I made a comment and that was removed. But it was again a totally objective and even comment that I made. So I knew therefore firsthand that what people were emailing me about was true for this other channel. And I mean, that's the way generally that I go through things, is that loads of people can say, oh, this channel, they're removing everything that's mentioning anything to do with what you've said in your video about what they're doing. And I always make sure that I experience it firsthand to know that, oh, that is the case, that particular channel is removing comments. But like I said, on my channel, it's a free-for-all in the comment section. People can comment whatever they want to comment, and that's free speech. So people can support my videos, they can talk about the things that I mention in my videos, and they can equally hate my videos if they want to, and they can leave comments in the comments section about hating my videos. I leave it all in there. So this is when it's funny where people accuse me of removing particular comments, because it doesn't make any sense, especially when their comment is there for everybody to see, and it is still there. So anyway, might make a video about that in the future, because it is crazy what some people get up to. Anyway, let's get things back on track, because I just reminded myself about that, asking people to maybe leave a comment. But it's always great to get people involved in the conversation when it is a constructive conversation about all the different things that we talk about on the channel. And something that was mentioned before the live stream was about, I think, the likeometer, and some of the likes have been going backwards. Again, I haven't got first-hand experience of this, but some people do leave the number like that they are. Say, for example, hashtag 72, where somebody is the 72nd like on their screen. They can see the likeometer and which one that they've done. And then somebody else said that on their screen it was a different number, and they couldn't figure out. And it's only something I've just read about, but being able to see that the number is reducing or being limited, and we had this recently with the subscriber counts kind of staying where it was and then occasionally for a few days going down. Even though people are subscribing, they were being unsubscribed to the channel. And that was earlier this year, and it's all a bit weird as to what was going on. But I think it followed on from my authentic vocal project and me focusing on some bands and artists that obviously had an agreement. I think the major labels have an agreement with YouTube and they don't want things pointed out, but they can't take down my videos. So this is the other thing that just reminds me of these comments where they say that what I do on my channel, whenever I'm wrong about an analysis, I have to make apology videos. I've never made an apology video. So these people, they're just making up these things. And to date, none of my analysis videos have been incorrect because I set a really high bar for pointing out something on screen. It has to be proven by objective data that other people can cross-reference. So with all of my analysis videos, I show the data, I show the files, leave links to the files in the description, and I mention in my comment section, in my description, and another thing in the comment section that somebody said was, oh, you can tell that what he's doing isn't the truth because the software that he uses, the companies have had to release statements saying that they don't do what he states they do, or something crazy like that. And I messaged the person back and said, Moises.ai, they wanted me to make a video on their software, the software that I use in my videos. So that was a collaboration with what I do on my channel. If their software didn't do what they were promoting it does, then why would they want me to show it on my channel? And it's what I use, but also to let people know exactly what I use, because if it didn't do what they claimed it did, it wouldn't work in my analysis video. So yeah, those comments are a bit silly. And there's another one about the pitch monitoring software, which again in my description I label it as Vocalaise, and I work very closely with Jared, who's the guy who does it. He runs the whole site of Vocalaise and designs the way that the pitch monitoring software works, and he's developed probably 4 or 5 or 6 extra functions that aren't available to the public but are available to me for my analysis videos, to, for example, run analysis videos at 100 frames per second, meaning that we get data for every 100th of a second of a vocal. So then when I compare them on screen, if it is the same audio file, all of the peaks and all of that data that I now overlap is happening to the 100th of a second. And it's something that I say a lot in my analysis videos, but maybe people don't appreciate the detail with which we're looking at stuff, because that's a function that Jared has actually made for me, for the analysis, to make it even more detailed and even more conclusive as to what I'm pointing out, whether something is the same audio file or whether it's not. So yeah, these weird claims that people say, oh, the software that he's using doesn't actually do what he's showing, it's all fabricated. You know, the links are in the description of every video. You can go, you can talk if you want to the developers of these apps, and they will say, no, what he does is exactly what our app does. It isolates vocals, and with the pitch monitoring software, it plots pitch on a graph. And what he's actually showing in his videos is even more detailed than the public can access. And even with the 30 frames per second, for example, that will still provide conclusive data. I mean, that's what I've been doing for years. But then I asked and said, is there a way we can make it 100 frames per second? Because that, for me, is even better, because then I can start matching up peaks rather than, putting one audio file over the other audio file, which is conclusive anyway. I mean, the extra part of the 100 frames per second, that's just something that I kind of wanted to do, just from I guess a bit more of a geeky perspective. I thought, oh, it'd be great if we can compare hundredth of a second to hundredth of a second from one performance to the next. But even just 30 frames per second is absolutely conclusive. When you've got the same audio file, it will match up. So anyway, these comments, it might even warrant a whole video so that I can show you on screen what kind of stuff goes on. But we will actually jump into some donations, because I know that there have been a few in the PayPal window, so thank you guys for those, and in the super chat window. So now I can see DD says apology videos. Now there's an idea, and the only reason you'd ever have to apologize about anything is if you were wrong. So that's why it's weird when they say, oh, they said that I'm regularly making apology videos and then removing them so that people can't see them. So you think, well, what's the point in doing an apology video if you then remove it immediately afterwards? But yeah, even the cases where there was a video that I removed because of the effect it was having on the kids in the band, and this was the Greystones, and some people were going and trolling the kids. So I removed a video, but the video that I removed, it wasn't incorrect, and I've never said that the analysis was wrong, and I wasn't apologizing for my analysis at all, because now actually Adam, the manager of the band, and he's a father of one of the band members, from my video, and after I made my video, he's now changed the way that he uploads the videos to YouTube because of my video. And that was literally the fork in the road, and the reason now for having actual live footage of a show that they did recently. It was all because of the video that I made. It's not because I made a video that was wrong. If it were wrong, then the way the videos were being made would have continued. But because what I was pointing out was indeed true, it means that now it's kind of changed the path of the band. And I think a lot of people have said it's changed for the better, because just having transparency and being honest about everything is really important. So now people can appreciate the band and the talent that they have in a truly live setting. So, and with truly live footage and audio. So this is why, none of the analysis videos that I've made have been incorrect. And whenever I've done a follow-up video to an analysis video, it's only proven the case even further, because some people might have commented and said, oh, well, that's not fair that you looked at this one. You should have looked at this one and this one. Especially this happened about 3 times in the Taylor Swift analysis video that I did. And they said, oh, and it's her fans saying, you should have looked at this, you should have looked at that. So then I looked at this and that, and I pointed out what was going on. And of course, that they didn't like that either, that I could point out that it was auto-tuned. And the other song that people were accusing me of not including because it was a live one after the one that we looked at, which was lip-synced and mimed, that next one was the same. It was lip-synced or mimed, as we say here in the UK. So this is it. The follow-up videos just prove the case even further. So my videos would not still be here if they weren't just objective facts, because there are way too many legal teams out there, and the major labels have got legal teams the likes of which you've never seen in your life, and they really don't want the information to be out there. But you can't do anything when it is objective data that can be just carried out again and again and again, and you'll get the same results over and over and over again. And ultimately, for somebody who's using auto-tune, for example, you could say, okay, well, sing that into this microphone in exactly the same way that you did on this performance. And they wouldn't be able to do it because it's physically impossible. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see them try. But we all know that with live vocals, even with the best voices of all time, you get resets. And those resets happen a hell of a lot. So yeah, nobody's got the ability to sing perfectly on A440 and then intentionally throw in a reset. It's much too much, detail with which we're looking at the pitch monitoring software and the voice, that you can't control that kind of thing. You can't control your vocal cords for every 100th of a second. You just do what you want them to do. You kind of try and sing the melody. You're not in control of that melody for every 100th of a second. and nobody is. So anyway, let me just skip the advert that's trying to get involved and get into these donations. So thank you for this donation. Paul, who's donated $5 and says, catch up crew for me tonight. Have fun tonight, all y'all. Please spike the likes. Peace, love, and rock. So thank you for that. And Timothy has donated $4.99. So thank you, Timothy. And that's a straight up donation. Malteser has donated $9.99 and says, Phil, time for hair talk. That's quite a back comb there. Your face is gradually disappearing under the bramble. So thank you for that. And today, I've never actually back combed my hair in my life. It's just something that I've never done. So tonight's hair, I'm going through the process of just washing my hair, well, actually just having a shower and then letting my hair dry. And this is what it looks like when it dries naturally, like without a hairdryer or anything. And I think, well, it tends to just keep its form. I mean, this is a little bit crazy, but it tends to keep its form better when it dries naturally. I don't know why that is, but maybe with a hairdryer, it blows the hair in a particular direction and makes it dry, maybe in a weird position or maybe with a curl that it shouldn't have. So the curls are more manageable when they just dry naturally. But yeah, I found that drying with a hairdryer was getting the hair going all over the place, going in all kinds of weird directions. So yeah, tonight's hair, as has been for a few weeks, I find, yeah, it actually works out better for me to have a shower earlier in the day as well. So then I'm not kind of rushing, thinking, oh, I've got to set up the live stream and I've got to have a shower and then quickly trying to dry my hair, and it can all be a bit of a bit of a stress and rushing going into the live streams. So for tonight, it just is what it is, and it is convenient that my fringe is actually curling up quite a lot. So there, yeah, it just pops straight back up again. So yeah, I can see things very clearly, which is great. Now, Ruben has donated 5,000 Argentinian pesos, I think that is, and it says, Phil is valiant. He makes the right thing about the topics he deals with. I hope the idea be clear. So thank you for that. This is another thing that I'll probably talk about a little bit later in the live stream, even though it's already 25 to midnight. The last video that I did talking about, AI and consent, which is a huge part of any, well, I was going to say like just anything, but any agreement, but any social situation or any legal situation. If there's any kind of agreement, consent is the first thing that either side has to have to come to an agreement. So when answering a few of the comments recently, and to do with that video that I released last night, it was, so yeah, not even, well, just over 24 hours ago, having consent for somebody to take your product to then make something else from your product that they're selling, I think every person, no matter what it is, they'll say, well, no, I'm not going to give consent for that, because what you've created has solely, like absolutely relied on the thing that I created. That's what happens with AI. It cannot train on nothing. It needs data. So where does it get that data? And it should have to get it in a law-abiding way where consent is given for that data to be trained on. But in AI's case, that hasn't been given any consent from any musician. So it is totally weird how AI has been, and just saying AI, again, is misleading, because it's the creators of AI, the programmers of AI, they are the people that are taking the music without consent, and then they're creating a product and they're selling it. So whichever way you look at it, you think, well, that's not right. If something is creating profit for a company that is using something that is essential for the product, and the essential part of the product has been taken without consent, for me, it's really basic that that, well, something illegal should have happened there for that company to now be making money of something that they didn't have consent for that is an essential part of their product. They would not have a product without that person and that person and that person and hundreds of thousands of people's talents that they are just basically ripping off and rearranging it, releasing something that, again, is just all of the talent that they've taken. The AI is now creating something with all of that talent and selling that product. So yeah, it is a bit crazy. But what gets me is people can't see this. And even under the video that I released last night, people are commenting saying, oh, it's okay because AI hasn't used a single part of the people's songs or a person's song. It's fine because that's not against the law. And I mean, it is true that there aren't any laws for this, which is crazy. So technically that is correct. But saying that it hasn't used any of anybody's song, that is technically incorrect. It's used everything of everyone's songs. It's used every part of everyone's songs. So, and especially when we're talking about major labels, it's used everything. That's how it's learned how to do it. So the fact that it's not reproducing a particular guitar riff or a particular vocal, yeah, for me, that's still not an argument, because the AI model is just reliant on something that it didn't have consent to take. So yeah, we'll see how it works out in the future, and it might be the case that AI companies now, I think with Universal Music Group, they're going to do a deal, or maybe they have done a deal to partner up. So then Universal Music Group will effectively be getting royalties for the AI creations. And that's how it should work, is if somebody does a cover of somebody else's song and they want to release it, they need to have an agreement with the copyright owner, and then you work out your percentages. And that's what consent is. That's what it all boils down to. If there's no consent, then something illegal has happened, but the governments just didn't make laws quick enough to realise, oh yeah, hang on, these musicians haven't agreed to this, for all of their music to be fed to a machine that can then make a product that is absolutely reliant on their material. But now the company who has programmed the AI, they're making the money, but the people who made it possible are not making any money. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy that that's how it has been allowed to work. So anyway, let's now jump back into the donations, because Maltese has donated $9.99 again. Thank you for that. The message is, your hair makes other men jealous. Are you the only guy in Maidenhead with long hair? I don't know. I'd say maybe not. There might be a few other people, but it's certainly not a style. I mean, not this kind of style, because this is going for it. Because I'm sure there are other guys who've got long hair and it's maybe kind of a little bit longer on the top and maybe down to kind of here possibly, but going for the full length like this, yeah, it's a brave choice, but it's a choice that I made when I was, 23 or something. So, and I guess now, because that was 20 years ago, I should just be thankful that the hair is still around. So I'm not sure about making other men jealous. I think maybe more just calling out silly things and, referring to me as a woman and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, thankfully that hasn't happened recently. And I think more than often, because of my hair and the wind and everything, I tend to just put a cap on when I go outside. So yeah, the hair doesn't get blown around too much, and people will just see a ponytail. They won't see the full effect that I have on the live streams and the videos, unless I go to some kind of show or event or something where, yeah, obviously I have my hair as it is now, just because I think just going to the shops quickly is a cap type thing, but then going to an event and kind of getting a bit more rock and roll is a full hair kind of thing. So thank you for that. Jennifer's donated $5, so thank you. And the message is, Phil, thanks to your moderators and thanks for speaking the truth. So no problem. That's just what I do on the channel. Sometimes to my detriment, with, like I said, earlier in the year, and people being unsubscribed for whatever reason. And yeah, anyway, thank you Malteser again, who donated $9.99 again. And the message is, you've been talking seemingly continuously for the last 15 years. Do you need to protect your voice so it doesn't age too fast? So, no, I think generally I'm quite a loud talker anyway. My family will say that I talk a lot anyway. So I think it's just something that my voice is accustomed to doing, to speaking for a very long time. But what I will say is, actually, since going to London with Jeff Scott Soto and spending time at a show and talking with him, I think when it is kind of quite loud, and that's when we went to see Lita Ford, which was great, and it's great to meet her and go and kind of chill out with Jeff. Then, because music's loud and you kind of maybe shout a little bit more than you should do when communicating in those environments, after then, for whatever reason, I have had a bit of a kind of clearing my throat that I have to do every now and again. And I mean, that was a few months ago now, so yeah, it's a little bit annoying, but I don't know whether it's I don't want to say kind of a COVID thing or a long COVID thing. I don't know whether, I think it's probably still out there, and I already had COVID and had the jab things as well, and yeah, maybe it's a different strain or something. But this is the weird thing, that even talking about it, it feels like that I have to either cough or clear my throat, and it's almost like a psychosomatic thing or semantic thing, when you think about how your throat feels, and you feel like it's almost like oversensitive now, that I can start to feel little bits that might want to tickle, and then you kind of clear your throat or cough. But I'll leave it and just see if I need to do that at a later date. But as for my voice, normally, even when I've got a bit of a tickle there and want to clear my throat, I still feel like I can talk for a long time. The only time recently, I think, where I felt like my voice has been a bit fatigued is when I've done a live stream, and maybe I've been talking throughout the day and then done the live stream, which is an hour and 15 minutes, and then made videos after that. Like, sometimes I try and get all the videos done maybe in a row, and sometimes I've done that after a live stream, which means that I might be talking for another 3 hours after the live stream. So that's maybe 4.25 hours, because with my analysis videos, I talk for a very long time, and the 20-minute video is usually about an hour of me pointing out different things, and I'm cutting down just the pertinent points that I think are important. And even still, some people say that I talk for too long. So, well, there you have it. That's their opinion. But I do try to cut down the analysis videos as much as possible. But it does mean that I'm talking for a very long time, as I do with these live streams. But I guess I'm conditioned to do it. Maybe somebody who's suddenly going to start talking for 4 or 5 hours continuously, then they might suffer with their vocal, but I've kind of built it up throughout the years, so yeah, I don't have too much of a problem with it. And another donation from Maltesers, donated $9.99, and Angela said, did he just yawn? So yes, I did. And this is another thing that generally throughout the live streams, because it's getting towards, it's 1:45 here, and depending on how I've slept the night before, sometimes when I'm in the live streams, I'll kind of start to yawn, or maybe people don't notice, because I think I just did quite an obvious yawn, but I tend to cover my mouth when I yawn, just for a manners type thing. But yeah, yawning, I don't tend to yawn too much, or when I do, I don't think it's like a huge yawn that people do, where they kind of really exaggerate it, throw their arms out and really open their mouth wide. I do little yawns now and again. So yeah, I think that's natural, and it's one of those things that when you see somebody yawn, then you can't help yawning yourself. So I don't know whether I set other people off doing that. So maybe a little experiment. If anybody else yawned, then you can let us know. In the live chat room, I can see that Malteser donated. Again, yeah, I can't help myself, just trying to fill that tip jar. And again, I have compared your recent voice with older live streams, and you do sound older now. So thank you for that. And I think that's more to do with the interface. And I mean, I've used the same mic, but I've gone through different interfaces. So this interface here is, yeah, slightly different one to if you go back like maybe 8 years ago. I think the sound would probably be a little bit more top-endy and not have as much bass or middle in it. So I think my voice has pretty much stayed the same, but I have actually got older. So it might be literally, if I sound like I'm older, it's because that is literally the truth. That, if you compare it to maybe 10 years ago, I am 10 years older. So it's going to be something that will happen naturally, but I haven't felt any problems with my voice or anything like that. Or if I'm singing, I haven't felt any problems, fingers crossed, for range and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thank you for that. And I've probably changed quite a bit physically and with my face and maybe physically with my body, that would have gone from kind of working out to then 4 years ago, then being injured, and then probably over the last maybe 2 or 3 years getting smaller and smaller, and now just starting to gradually exercise a little bit more, and maybe you'll see the change in the body as well. But hopefully, as I kind of hopefully keep on exercising, my arm can put up with it, and I can keep going with the rehab, build things up, and then I'll get back to where I was. Wow, 4 years ago. It's been a while waiting for my arm to sort itself out, but hopefully we will get there. We are going to be jumping over to the PayPal window because we had a donation in there. We had a few donations. So first of all, it was John who donated £5. So thank you for that, John. And the next donation was from Bryony, who donated £5, and that's a straight up donation. Thank you for that. Mish Marie has donated £2, so thank you for that as well. The message is, hi Phil, or Fee, but Phil, with the Universal versus UMG deal, and it's the Universal versus Udio, which is the name of the company, deal, how do artists get compensated? And what if the artists do not want their material to be used in AI prompts or AI training? Also, is this deal eliminating human songwriters, producers, and replacing them with AI promptists? So thank you for that. Now, this is a really complicated question because I'm still getting emails from people and messages across social media sites from people who are creating AI songs, and they've sent me their prompts, and they've sent me what settings they adjusted something to. Like, I moved this to there, and I moved this to there, and the song it came up with, I'm really proud of. And they're still thinking that they're writing these songs. So, yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know what happens with maybe people who have been really wanting to write songs for years, but they've never had the maybe ability to put a song together themselves, or they haven't been, I don't know, good enough at singing, or they haven't worked at it enough, and now all of a sudden they're thinking that the song that AI's come up with has been their creation, and they think, oh wow, I'm amazed that I could come up with that. But they don't realise that they haven't come up with that. That's the product of all of the talent of the best singers and songwriters in all genres ever in the world, all put together and added together by AI and jumbled up, and then it gives out a product that matches one of your prompts. It's just matching your words. It's not you creating it. So yeah, it's really weird that people still think that moving, because they moved a slider to say, 57%, obviously out of 100, they moved it to 57%. So they say, yeah, but I moved it there. So that means that the creation that it gave me was due to me moving it. Therefore, it's my song. And I guess as a musician and a songwriter and somebody who has done it all themselves, I can't get my head around that, thinking that because you've moved something, that's now your song, that you've written that song because you said 57%, where somebody else might have moved that to 59%. It's like, yeah, I can't understand that thought process. But anyway, back to this example. Let's say that an artist signed to Universal Music Group has their songs, and their songs are being fed to AI. UMG, Universal Music Group, once you sign a contract with them, that will stipulate whether they've got total control of what they want to do with your music or not. And this is why I say don't sign record deals. But this is the problem, that if the artist does not want their music to be fed to AI, they won't have a say if they are signed to UMG, because UMG own the artist. They own the music, and the artist would have signed a contract that says that is the case. So they are giving the consent to UMG, and UMG say to then the AI company, we give consent to use this, the thing that we own. And the artist might say, oh no, but that's my song, I don't agree with AI. And yeah, Universal Music Group can say, well, we don't care, because we own you and we own your music. And that's what a record deal is, that they own you as an artist, unfortunately. So there's nothing that an artist in that situation can do unless they have artistic control in their contract. But very few artists have that. It is basically the record label's way or the highway. And that's the way it's been since pretty much the beginning of time with signing record deals. So as for the deal eliminating human songwriters, producers, replacing them with AI promptists, I think that AI, because it hasn't been policed, AI is absolutely replacing session musicians. It's replacing songwriters. It's replacing lyricists. It's replacing so many different people in the industry that aren't the artists themselves, but the people that do the jobs, that might do the jobs on behalf of, record labels. But the problem is getting to the bottom of the legalities of it, because like I said, all of these songs that are being created from decades and decades and decades of artists' talents. And when a song is created by AI and people think, oh, hang on, that's really good. Why is that so good? For me, I think, well, it's obvious why the song is good, or you think it's good. It's because it's been training on the best songwriters, singers of all time. So if you put all of that talent into something, it's more likely, more often than not, it's going to spit out something that sounds like it was made by talented individuals. Because it was. That's how AI works. So, yeah, again, I don't think people really understand what AI is. That it's just really a production of all of that talent. So, like I said about session musicians, that AI would have taken all of the instrumentational ability of band members, artists, but also the session musicians who played on all of this music that's being fed to AI. So it's spitting out this combination of all the best session musicians that have ever lived. So that's why all the stuff where people are saying, oh, that's amazing and why does it sound so good, is because it's not something that's been created from scratch. It's just representative of what's being fed to it. So yeah, for me, it's not really surprising when people say, "Oh, it's an AI creation, but why do I like it so much?" It's like, well, ask yourself, why do you like your favorite band? And you think, oh, because, you know, the person who sang it was really talented, or the guitarist was amazingly talented. Guess what? Those two people are in AI. That's why. So yeah, not that they gave consent to be in there, but that's just how it works. So anyway, moving on. This is, you know, one of those questions that I could answer for years, but Media X has donated £12 as well and just says thanks. So thank you for that donation. And a $5 donation from Debbie. Thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, thanks for playing Percy tonight. Love that song. Always makes me think of Twilight Zone by Golden Earring. You are the best. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And Amy's donated £30. So thank you, Amy. The message is, changing subjects. Alaska just had its annual Fat Bear contest. A bear named Chunk was voted as having bulked up the most prior to hibernations. Voters observed the bears via webcam. Chunk probably weighs 1,200 pounds, almost 86 stone. So that certainly is a change of subject. And Chunk, of course, from Goonies fame. If you've seen the Goonies, you'll know who that character is. But yeah, thank you for that information. I didn't know that existed, but people can do whatever they want with their time. Thank you for that donation. And Dawn, who's donated £3.63, and that is a straight up donation. Karen's donated £5.70. Thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, I found this quote and immediately thought of you. Happiness comes from authenticity, not approval. You've proven your authenticity quite eloquently. Do you think the quote applies to you in any way and or has any truth? Thanks for all you do and for being you. Cheers, Karen. So yeah, I think I've said very similar things in lots of videos about, you know, being truthful. I think is just more important than being liked. You know, if you're saying something that you know is untrue, but people like you for that, yeah, it is kind of, I guess, fake. They're liking you thinking something about you that isn't true. Whereas, or even just saying something, you know, commenting on something that you might know that's not true. And I have mentioned this in other videos about maybe other channels, reaction channels, who are saying things about a performance, and they're just, I think, saying what the fans of the band want to hear, rather than saying what is actually going on. So I know that with my videos that, yeah, I'm not going to attract loads and loads of viewers for, you know, bands that are huge, have got, you know, millions and millions of fans, and me doing a video pointing out something that the fans might not like, it doesn't change it from, you know, being a fact. I'm still going to point it out. So yeah, I think it's more important to be authentic. And yeah, I think in music especially, you can't be looking for approval all the time, because then you'll, especially writing music, you're never going to be able to write something that's going to please everyone, because nobody's ever done that. So yeah, it's better just to do your own thing, write the music that you enjoy writing, and yeah, then at least you're going to enjoy making it, and that's the most important thing. And Karen's donated again, £1.45, and the message is, Phil, I think people enjoy listening to you talk, especially because you have that lovely English accent. Present company included. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that. Right, we are now up to date in the PayPal window, and Maltese has donated $9.99 again, and the message is, Phil, what's your favourite trainer, assuming you have a few pairs? I'm not really a trainer kind of person, so I've got some trainers that are really old that are running trainers. That's the reason that I bought them, and if I were going running, I would wear those because they're quite cushioned and, you know, better for your joints and all that kind of stuff. But with other ones, I don't follow particular brands, anything like that. So yeah, anything that I see, I think pretty much, like the Converse type design. I've got a couple of pairs of trainers like that, but then I've got another pair of trainers that I don't even know the make of them. So I guess, like with stuff that I wear, I'm not one of these people that goes for brands. I mean, most of my clothes are really old anyway, so they just, I'm lucky that I stay the same kind of size. And yeah, I only ever really get new clothes when the other clothes start getting holes in them and actually need replacing. But I don't think, oh, let me look for a particular brand because that's one that I go for. I just pick them at random and anything that fits. But I'm quite lucky with fitting because I'm pretty much just a medium in most clothing items. So thank you for that. Oh, we are going to be jumping into tonight's cover video because it is 2 minutes past midnight here and we're at 417 likes, meaning we're looking for another 17 more people to hit the thumbs up. If you could do that, it'd be very much appreciated. Then we'll bust out the gem, have a jam and see what happens. But let me just bring this vote to a close. It looks like it's going to be Is This Love tonight, or Is This Love for tonight's live stream. So I hope you guys enjoy this because it is indeed my version of the White Snake classic, of course, and I'll see you guys after. Rock!
Should've known
And there we have it. That's my version of Is This Love by Whitesnake. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for requesting it over on Patreon. And we are going to be jumping into Picture Corner because that's something that I forgot about last time. And we have a few more additions to Picture Corner for tonight as well. So let's jump into there and see. Let's see if we can actually first of all get the pictures up on screen, and I'm trying to find the screen grab. Okay, it is set up, so let me click on this, and it's in the middle, which is great. That's a bonus. Right, now let me scroll up because I should have shown this in the last live stream, but I forgot. And this was sent in by Kevin, so thank you for that, Kevin. The message is, mug arrived, only took three days ordering from the US store to Sydney. That is fast. Wow. So there you go. And oh, we do have some news that the old store, which was Teespring, they have, as of today, paid me the money that I was owed, that I've been owed for about, 2 months, something like that. So that is good news. But also good news about the Dashery store being able to deliver to Australia in 3 days. I mean, that is crazy. I'm just getting my head around that. So yeah, very much the reason as to why I changed. Right, now let's move on to the next picture, because this is from Howard, and Howard says, hi Phil, I took advantage of the flash sale and Dashery was fast with the order. I plan on wearing it to London in May. So thank you for that. And definitely everybody stay tuned into the live streams for when the sales happen on Dashery, because I'll always let you guys know when Wings of Pegasus stuff is on a deal. And I think the next one is going to be Black Friday around that time, so I'll let all you guys know then, so that'll be a good time to stock up if you need anything Wings of Pegasus related. Right, now we have Bob here, and Bob says, here's my crew neck t-shirt from the Dashery sale. Love this latte colour. So thank you for that, because we got another one here, and I think it's just cutting off the top of the picture here, but maybe, hang on, I might be able to get rid of this, and I'll move the screen grab thing over there to the actual message over on Facebook. So this is the picture without the top cropped out. So Bob is wearing the Wings of Pegasus cap and t-shirt matching blue and blue. So thank you for sending that in, Bob, as well. Right, now let me get to the next one. I'm moving stuff all over the place here to try and get it all on screen. I think the final one, here we go. Oh, but by the way, let me move this back to Bob, because the other message here was the other two items I got from Dashery, a long sleeve shirt and a trucker hat, both in royal blue. And finally, we've got this sent in by Nikki saying, my Wings of Pegasus hoodie kept me warm in Tokyo last weekend. So far, I've worn it in Mexico and Japan. I brought it along to the Philippines, but not too warm, but much too warm to wear there. So thank you for that, and thank you to Laura for linking me to the pictures for Picture Corner tonight. Right, now we have hit the target for the Phil Jam, so you could probably guess that because I got the guitar out. Right, so let's turn on the mic. Let's zoom out here. Let's load up. Oh, this is 7 minutes and 26 seconds. We'll load up Phil Jam number 282. And there's probably going to be an advert.
One of the great challenges in this,
which we'll have to mute. And right, this is going to be dark dynamic rock guitar backing track in C minor, and this is from Superior Jam Tracks on YouTube. Right, let me skip that. Kind of let it play through so I can kind of hear it. Hopefully you'll be able to hear the gem. you hear this? Oh, it's got heavy. Try and go a bit clean here. Waiting for it to go back to this bit. finish. And there we have it. So, I mean, that was a long one for tonight. It was 7 minutes and 28 seconds. Oh, and let me skip that advert trying to jump in. And that was Dark Dynamic Rock Guitar backing track in C minor from Superior Jam Tracks on YouTube. So you guys can check that out if you want to. Thank you, Joe, for sending that to me. And that was the rollover from Tuesday's live stream, Phil Jam number 282. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up and ensuring that we had a Phil Jam for tonight. And it means that we're going to be having another one on Tuesday, and we're going to be aiming for 283. So we will see. That'll be the Phil Jam number. And I think in terms of the likeometer, I'm not sure what we'll be aiming for as the likes goal, but there we have it for tonight. And just one donation that's come through in the super chat window, and the message is, and this is from LCVS the Earth. Thank you for that. The message is, what are your thoughts on Bret Michaels demanding at least 50% of the gross revenue to tour with Poison? Yeah, I mean, this is what, you know, being an artist, being in a band is all about. It's agreeing on everything, and more often than not, that's very difficult for multiple people to do, especially if it's a band, and especially if the instrumentalists are playing riffs from songs that everybody knows, and if the instrumentalists weren't playing those riffs, then people wouldn't know the songs. So yeah, for one person to be taking, you know, 50%, I don't know, it's something that if everyone's happy with that, then it is what it is. But I think that a lot of people would probably prefer everything to be split relatively evenly, maybe just a little bit, because it's not as if, you know, it's going to be a duo. You know, it's not like, yeah, it's going to get. It might be a good example. We're not really with the style of music, but with Simon and Garfunkel, you know, it's not that kind of setup where it's a 50-50 split. There are lots of other things going on in the songs, and instrumentalists require band members to play that. So it's all about what people agree to. So yeah, I don't know whether that has been agreed to, or whether it's just something that Bret is demanding, and it's kind of up in the air. So we'll see what happens with that. But thank you for that. And Joanne has donated £5 over on PayPal, so thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, if you don't get a haircut soon, I'll come over from the US with a pair of scissors. So thank you for that. And I'm probably due a haircut. When is it? Maybe in 4 weeks' time, something like that. So we've still got a little bit of a ways to go. So anyway, all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, so look out for that one, and have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys at the video tomorrow night. Rock!